let me see if I've got this right. Homeschooling sounds like a great idea in theory, and you've also decided the public school is not the route for your family, your children. But between the voices in your head and the people in your life, you wonder if you can actually do it all the way through high school. You say to yourself, am I really smart enough to do this, to teach them? Am I patient enough? Am I organized enough? Will I mess them up? Are they missing out on something? Well, my answer is yes, you are smart enough. Yes, you can be patient enough. Yes, we'll get you organized enough. And my answer then to will you mess up your kids is no, you won't. And are they missing out on things by not going to public school and being homeschooled? No, they are not. Why? Because today I'm going to share with you the key to successfully homeschooling all the way from kindergarten through high school. And even if you don't have kindergartens, if you're starting in 5th grade, you're starting in 8th grade, it doesn't matter. To successfully get through, I have found that there is one key. Let's discuss that today.
Welcome to the Little by Little Homeschool podcast, where you can get out of survival mode, feel confident in your homeschool decisions, and gain peace in your heart and home. I know that when we plant our feet firmly in this season of life and embrace our homeschooling, motherhood, and homemaking, we will thrive. I truly believe that we can do this from a place of peace and joy, all while growing a ton of contentment. And while we're at it, Mama, let's deepen those relationships with our children and love these years we get to pour into them. If you're ready to create beauty, seek simplicity, and live intentionally, homeschool mama, then close out that lesson book, let the kids go play, and let's have an authentic conversation.
Before we get into all of the juicy details, I have a really fun announcement and a giveaway to tell you about. I promise that this episode is going to be a good one because, you know why? Because I hear from you often wondering if you actually can do this and can you do it well. And from having 2 homeschool graduates, we tend to get a lot of these questions. I've got my 3rd here in a few years who'll be graduating. And so that's why I'm excited about this episode, because it's really going to empower you. But before we get to it, we are celebrating here at Little by Little Homeschool the 2-year anniversary of the podcast. Can you believe it's been 2 years? I'm just so thrilled. I am first so thankful for you, for listening, for sharing the podcast, and for encouraging me back. And I just feel so blessed that you have allowed me just a small space within your mind, your heart, your homeschool, your family to cheer you on and to encourage you. And that just thrills me to no end. In honor of 2 years of the podcast, we're going to do a giveaway. And that giveaway is going to be a scholarship to the Clarify Your Homeschool program. So how do you enter this giveaway in order to win that scholarship? There'll be 1 scholarship given out, and for the full access to Clarify Your Homeschool, in order to enter, all you need to do is to leave a review for the podcast. If you've already left a review, it's okay to go in and just update that review, and then send 2 friends by text an episode of the podcast, whatever one that you think that they will be encouraged by. All you need to do then is, when you leave the review, quick go ahead and take a screenshot of it, or take a picture if you're doing it on your laptop, take it from your phone, of the review before you go ahead and send that in. And then for the text messages, just take some quick screenshots of the text. You can cross out phone numbers, and I promise I'm not going to call your friend, but just send me just a quick screenshot that you had sent a specific episode to 2 different friends. So send those 3 photos to me. You can either email it to me at info, I-N-F-O, at littlebylittlehomeschool.com, or you can simply send it to me through Facebook or Instagram messages. Now, in order to enter the giveaway and to win the scholarship, you need to send those images to me before this Friday, February 9th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the winner will be announced, or contacted, I should say, via either email or message, however you send it to me, next week. But I am excited to be able to welcome one of you into Clarify Your Homeschool and give that away as a scholarship. All right, without further ado, let's dive into today. And like many of you, or probably most of you, I jumped right into homeschooling. I got the curriculum, I did the paperwork for the school district, and I said, that's all that's needed, right? I remember how to do school. I'm just going to do that for my children. So that's all I have to do. Got the curriculum, got the paperwork. Yes. All right. We're good to go. But long-term success doesn't come to every homeschool family. I know that kind of sounds a little bit scary, but I've met some that just kind of wandered and here and there and didn't have direction, didn't have clarity, and yeah, they accomplished. They checked off the boxes and they got the curriculum and did the paperwork and they're good to go. But they missed something really key. Lots of families just do the basics and they don't look any deeper. Today in this episode, we are going to cover the foundation, which is the key to not just making and surviving homeschooling, but thriving and growing children that are ready to take their place in the world. Are you ready to hear that key? I'm going to throw it out to you here, but then don't cut me off. We're going to flesh this out a bit so that you have that really solid foundation to your foundation. So the key to successfully homeschooling through all the years of homeschooling, whether it's kindergarten through high school or whenever you decide to begin homeschooling, is having a vision and supporting that vision with goals. Now we're going to break those down. The first one is having a vision. When we think about visions, we don't always think about we should have that with a family. So you can think about a vision or a vision statement, a mission statement, kind of the same thing. Any successful venture or business is going to have a vision or mission statement. And if they don't, they probably kind of fall apart. They don't really know what they're doing, why they're doing it, and they don't have that foundation. They don't have that thing to go back to when they want to make decisions. So you can also think about your homeschooling as a road trip and you guys pack into the car and yeah, you'll probably have a great time. But what if you had an end destination in mind and then you actually used your GPS to get there? There'd probably be less confusion. There'd be more certainty as to what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish and what you're going to do when you get there. Your homeschool vision statement, it's that final address that you're going to put into your GPS. So we're not going to talk about goals quite yet because vision comes first. So if you've never created a vision statement, I am actually really excited that you haven't because you're going to do that today. Please do that today when this episode is over. Now, your vision statement for your homeschool, it can be a sentence or it can be a short paragraph. It's whatever it is, whatever you want it to be. You have your own style of doing things and neither is right or wrong, whether it is a sentence or a short paragraph, or maybe it's not even a paragraph. You maybe take it and you put it into bullet points. You might have one sentence and some main bullet points underneath those. But what a vision statement does is it takes your why, or maybe your whys, you might have multiple whys to why you homeschool, and you're going to take those and you're going to create an overarching goal for all your homeschool years. Whether your homeschool years are kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, so for 13 years, times however many children you have, or maybe you're pulling a child out from school in high school and it's only a couple years, it is worth taking the time to do this. Your vision statement is going to be your inspiration. Now, a vision statement is not going to include the specifics for how to achieve each of your goals. That's what we're going to get to when we get to goals. You're just going to focus on the big picture when it comes to your vision statement. Some things to consider is your family culture. What do you guys like? What do you like to do? What is the heartbeat and the why and the focus behind your family? The answer to the questions and other questions such as what am I hoping to accomplish during these years of homeschooling is what you're going to put into your vision statement. It is just going to be a big, general, overarching goal, and it's going to be what will guide you in your yearly decisions when you're looking at curriculum. It's going to guide you in your weekly decisions. It's going to guide you in your day-to-day decisions. It's even going to, at times, guide you in your moment-by-moment decisions when you have to decide, am I going to allow this math lesson to end in tears, whether for the child, for yourself, for you, for both of you, or for everybody in the family? Or am I going to choose something different, a different direction to take? Your vision statement is going to help you to decide on those and to make those decisions. And it's something that needs to be in the back of your mind, conscious when you are homeschooling. I actually suggest to the moms in Clarify Your Homeschool to display their vision statement. Have that out. Have it as a reminder that you remember the vision statement, your husband remembers the vision statement, and your children know that you have a goal. When kids are directionless, they will continue to be directionless. Think about families that are directionless. Unfortunately, there's a lot of them. And to me, it's sad. I'm like, there could be some great direction that you could have. You could really do some great and mighty things for the kingdom of God and for other people and to serve other people. But you can't because you don't have any direction. You don't have any guidance. And that's what your vision statement is going to do. It's going to give you that direction. And today we're talking specifically about homeschool. So what is it that's going to guide you when it comes to your homeschool? The second part of the key was supporting your vision statement with goals. I personally find this to be a lot of fun. I know that sometimes thinking about goals can feel too overwhelming. So there's a couple of ways to do this. If you're feeling overwhelmed, don't go too big on it, okay? Goals are going to be small, actionable steps. This is when you're going to break your vision down into steps. What you could do is, if you're feeling overwhelmed by setting goals, is simply right now to think about some goals that you have for your entire homeschool, for all of your family, all your kids, from now until the end of the homeschool year. Just look at that. It could be something little like, one goal is to do 3 read aloud books together. That's a goal. That's a great goal. Maybe it has to do with an individual child and you're seeing that a child is struggling with their math facts. And a goal would be to get them solid in their addition and subtraction math facts. And so to support that goal, you do research and you find what's going to be the best resources to come alongside this child. And what direction do I need to take? Do we pull back on doing more lessons until we get these math facts really good and solid? Those are the types of things that will then, when you set that goal, you'll make those decisions based upon that goal. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, just think about goals between now and the end of the homeschool year. If you want to go big and broad with goals, think about what are your goals for the entire homeschool of your children. They could be really big. They could be small. Again, this is up to you. You could have a lot of them. You could just have a couple of them. They could be more of a theoretical goals, or they could be really solid and tactical goals. I also really like to set up goals for each child, each homeschool year. And that's really looking specifically at them and that exact age they are, where they are with everything, and what do you want to accomplish? What do you want to focus in on? So that kind of taking what I mentioned about just focusing on the rest of this homeschool year and just taking it and stretching it out to the entire homeschool year. So right now in this podcast episode airs, we're about halfway through the homeschool year. So just think about that. But you can apply this then when you're starting to plan for next homeschool year, whether that is something you do in the spring, the summer, or as you get really close to the homeschool year, maybe you like to squeak it in just there, final at the end. But some things to think about when you are setting goals is things like what you would think is maybe little things. And it's not really a little thing, but how do you want your homeschool to feel in the day-to-day? What is unique about your kids? Where do your kids struggle? You can even break down these goals and think, what are my goals for my kids during the elementary years, during the middle school years, during the high school years? And just know that the amount of goals and what they look like and whether they're really big and grand or they're really smaller and tactical, there is no right or wrong when it comes to creating your vision statement or creating goals unless there's one time where it can be wrong. And that is if you are not being true to you and your family. And that's when it really is important to take into our family culture, take into what are your beliefs, what is your purpose here with your family. And so it can be wrong if you aren't being true to you. But I encourage you not to be shy about what your vision statement is and what your goals are. Share these with your family. Share it with your friends. Share it with your other homeschool mom friends so that they feel inspired too. So they're not just like in a pinball machine. I don't know if you know what a pinball machine is, but just the ball's in there and just knocking around. It's going from here to here and it's just deflecting and it's always it's just defending itself. There's never an offensive. So I encourage maybe to send this podcast episode to a friend if she does not have a vision statement so that You have clear, directionable goals, and you know why you are doing this. That is what is going to give you success in your homeschool. Not just making it by, not just checking off the boxes, not just sending in your reports at the end of the homeschool year to the school district, but it actually thriving. And someday you can look back and say, wow, that was so good. I am so glad that I homeschool my kids. I'm so glad that we didn't quit. And that vision statement that I created and those goals that we had, that is what kept me moving along. Because the vision statement is what do you want to accomplish? Who are these children that you want to put out into the world as young adults? Break those down into goals, and it's so great. I love to check things off a list or cross them off, whichever one you do. I've been known to write things on a list, not with a homeschool, but just maybe on a to-do list on a Saturday, just so I can cross it off. And so I kind of have a sneaking suspicion that you might be like that too. It's so nice to be able to say then, you know what? Little Bobby was struggling with his addition and subtraction math facts. And you get to then cross it off and say, no, he's really, really good at it. He's a smart kid and he's picked up on it. And we found just the right resources. And it was just the right time for everything to click with him. I really, really want you to have success long term. I am so excited about this generation of homeschoolers that are growing up now and just all that they are going to do really good things for the culture and to pour out God's love and to be the hands and feet of Him and to make changes within the communities they live in and the culture that is surrounding them. Before we close out, just one more reminder that if you would like to enter the giveaway to earn a scholarship to Clarify Your Homeschool, you need to do that before this Friday evening. And all you have to do is leave a review for the podcast. Take a quick screenshot of that before you go ahead and send it in. And then send me a screenshot of 2 text messages that you send to 2 different friends of podcast episodes that you think would encourage them. Send those to me either via email or through Instagram or Facebook. All of the links for that are down in the show notes in case you don't follow me on any of those platforms, or if you want to send it to me via email. And the winner will be contacted then next week. But friend, I'm excited for you to have this vision and goals, and you are going to have a great rest of your homeschool year.
If this podcast has encouraged you, the number one way you can thank me is to leave a written review on Apple Podcasts. I love to hear how this show has impacted you. So if you could hop over and do that, I'd be so grateful. While you're at it, take a screenshot of this episode and share it with your friends to encourage them. You can also find me over on Instagram at Little by Little Homeschool. Until next time, have a beautiful day, Mama.